Hey guys, this is Ken with Kenjutsu Bring It to Life, and in this video I'm going to share with you how to build a neat Harley Quinn mallet. I'm also giving the one I'm making for you away, so stay tuned for details. First thing we'll work on is the head. For it, I'm using an 8-inch form tube. These are made from cardboard and can be found at your local hardware store. They come in several foot-long segments, so we'll need to cut off a piece. My mallet will have a foot-wide head. Once you have your piece cut, you'll want some foam for the faces. I'm using EVA foam for this, so you can hit stuff without damaging it or the mallet. Just trace and cut out some circles. The foam faces aren't going to hold by themselves, so we'll need to cut out some smaller circles to fit inside the mallet for support. I'm using some insulation foam for this simply because it's cheaper and I had it lying around. You can use EVA foam for this as well. I'm making 2 stacks of 2 discs that I'll then hot glue together. You may need to sand these so they fit snugly into the form tube. Once you have them, glue your faces on. The mallet will also need a handle. I'll be using a piece of 1-inch Schedule 40 PVC pipe. A 10-foot piece is only a few dollars at a hardware store. You can cut your handle to be any length you like. Mine will be 4.5 feet long. For this design, the handle must go through the head, so I marked the very center of the head on either side and then used a circle saw to cut holes big enough for the handle. To make the top cap of the mallet, I'm using a 1 1/2 inch PVC cap, a small bit of 1 1/2 PVC pipe, and a 1-inch cup link. We only need half of the cup link, so I cut it in half. A safe way to do this is to stick it on some pipe and then cut it with a jigsaw. The cup link won't fit willingly into the 1 1/2 inch pipe, so I heat it with a heat gun to make the plastic just flexible enough for it to fit. Even so, since the mallet's head is round, you'll end up with this issue. To give it a better fit, the cap needs to have a slight curve. I use my bench grinder for this, but sandpaper and elbow grease work too. The caps I find these days have logos on them, so you may want to sand those off. For the bit under the mallet's head, I use another 1-inch cup link and another bit of 1 1/2 inch pipe. Again, to give it a better fit, you'll want to grind or sand a curve into the top of the 1 1/2 inch pipe. Then, using some heat, warm it up until you can fit the cup link in. If after it cools you can pull the 2 pieces apart, you'll want to glue them together with PVC primer and cement. This part is optional, but helps make the mallet much more travel friendly. A 4.5 foot tall mallet takes up a lot of space, especially in a car, so to help with that, I'll show you a technique that will make it much less of an issue. Take your handle and cut it into 3 segments. You'll need to cut the top off regardless, so you can put it in between the cap and the underbit inside your mallet head anyway. After you cut off the top, cut the remaining staff in half, cutting diagonally. A diagonal cut will be useful for lining up the prop when it's done. Then cut about an 8-inch piece of 3/4 inch PVC pipe. It won't fit in the 1-inch immediately, so you'll need to cut a thin section out to give it some flex. I used a metal cutting disc. Once you have it, squeeze and shove into the 2 parts of the handle and you should get a pretty snug and seamless join without the use of glue, screws, or any locking mechanisms. This way the prop is easy to take apart when not in use. Almost there! The handle is about done, so you can start painting on some primer and then add some color. My accents are going to be gold, while my handle is going to have a fun red stripe. To get it, I painted the handle red first. Once dry, I'll wrap it in painter's tape like so. Then I painted over it with black. This way, once you remove the tape, you have a swirl. Back to the head. Once you get the faces to fit snugly, go ahead and hot glue in any gaps between the foam and cardboard. Once it's set, sand the edges nice and smooth. After that, go over the foam and cardboard gap with some tape to hide it. Next, I recommend giving the whole thing a coat of paint primer. Sometimes aerosols like spray paint cause foam to dissolve. Coating it first will help keep that from happening. Once primered, you want to give it a fine-grained sand so you have a smooth surface to paint on. I'm putting a bullseye on one side, so to do that, I'll first paint the face red. Once dry, I'll use a circle, in this case another 1 1/2 inch cap, then paint the face white so when you remove the cap you have a red dot. For the outer circle, I'm using an empty whipped cream tub to protect my white ring, and then painting with red once more. An issue I found, particularly if you don't round the cap and base of your mallet's head, is that the head ends up spinning. An easy way to solve this issue is to put teeth on your cap that bite into the cardboard, keeping the tube still. For the teeth, I cut some tiny pieces of metal rod and drilled holes for them in the cap. After supergluing them in, I drilled holes in the head, and now once assembled, your mallet head won't budge at all. Back to painting. I'm going to put red stripes on the head, one on top and one on the bottom, so first I'll paint some red on there. Then, using painter's tape, I'll make my stripes. And just like with the handle, I'll paint over it with black. As that dries, I'll use the stencil I made on a sheet of craft foam to paint on some diamonds on the other face. Once everything is dry, pull off the tape and you have a cool looking mallet. I forgot to mention I'm using a 1-inch cap for the very bottom of the handle. Not necessary, but the gold does look nice. With everything painted, you just have to assemble and you are done. If you found this video useful, please like. If you need help, feel free to comment. Subscribe to stay up to date with my videos on YouTube. I'm also on Facebook and take commissions via email. I'll be giving this mallet away at the end of May as part of my monthly prop giveaways. To be eligible for my various giveaways, support me on Patreon, where only $1 a month gets you into all giveaways. Every month I give away a rupee and a prop in 2 separate drawings. Each dollar you send in gets you an additional entry. There are other rewards for supporters. Check those out on my Patreon page, patreon.com/Minitech616. Winners are responsible for shipping costs. March's prop was the Demo Man Sticky Bomb Launcher from Team Fortress 2. April's prop will be Finn's Fin Sword and Grass Sword from Adventure Time, and May's prop will be the Harley Quinn Mallet. All drawings are around the 20th of each month. Also, check out my novel series, Alice Dippleblack. Alice is a young Tokala orphaned in a chaotic time of war. Join her in an adventure of survival, magic, and friendship in a 5, soon-to-be 6-book series. Available on Amazon and Payhip. Thanks for watching.